Nadal leads head-to-head in majors 10-3. Of course, many of that weighted with the French Open, where he is the 12-time champion. They have played in majors since, of course, in major finals, but they've never played here at Wimbledon since that final. You know, it strikes me in that piece when you hear the late, the great, our dear friend Dick Enberg say, here they are, the two greatest players of their generation. It's 11 years later.
Like anything's changed.
It's incredible.
The hair and the outfits have changed a little bit, but
yes.
I'm just going to throw that out there.
You know, the hair has changed a little bit.
And if anything, the quality of play is better, right, than it was.
I think they're both playing better tennis, and I think that the fact that Rafa, who hadn't beaten Fed in quite some time, got a win against him last time, will really help him. I actually think here's an interesting dynamic, but I haven't thought about yet, that will change this match just a little bit.
What is it?
If Djokovic steamrolls first. You know, then all of a sudden, you know, now the winner of this is to play Joker, so he's already awaiting in the final. So I do think that that is a little bit of an element. If they were playing first or it's a final, but potentially to play Djokovic, it's such a tougher task for one of these guys to have to beat two of them.
Well, they can be riding high with confidence after that win. Then you go into the final thinking you already played a final, feeling pretty good.
Well, not exactly, because the guy on the other side of the draw, if he's playing at the level that he can play at, good luck.
Two things really struck me about that match when it happened. One was, you know, Nadal had dominated on the clay, but we still thought Federer would be the best in his own backyard on his course. And the way that Nadal was able to beat him here to win his first Wimbledon was absolutely incredible. And then we thought, well, is this the end of Federer? Is Nadal going to come and dominate now? And then when you got to know the history behind how badly he wanted to win Wimbledon and all that had gone, all the hard work and all the thought that he'd put into it, for him to achieve that in that manner was simply incredible. You know, so it was an epic match for many reasons, not just the quality of tennis, but for everything it meant to both people.
Well, how about, you know, I actually thought in 2007 that Rafa had a great chance to win, but coming into that final, remember how Rafa had absolutely crushed him in Paris, and it was like that seemed to be the distant memory. And then when those guys get out there, and the way it finished, and like that was like the first you really took notice of cell phone pictures and everything like that. And it was like almost keeping the court light with a faint light. And you thought, actually, are they going to actually stop this match?
They only had a couple of games left, and then they would have had to
the Grim Reaper came out, and it's like you got one game left.
It would have been such an anticlimax had they come back the next morning for what, like one game?
Yeah.
It would have been terrible.
Yeah, it was the environment, too. You mentioned going into that Wimbledon, Rafa did crush him in Roland Garros.
Absolutely.
Federer only won 4 games. Russia, he just beat him pretty handily, too, at Roland Garros.
And
what effect does that have?
I do think that means a lot, because he hadn't beat him in quite some time, and he had lost 5 straight for the first time. So anytime, it's just like this year, Rafa got a win against Joker, and he hadn't had one against him. Anytime that you get that win, all of a sudden, even though you played a ton of matches, instant belief goes up. So I do think that that is an advantage for Rafa, that he got a win against him. Even though it's a different surface, it's playing every bit as slow.
Yeah, the grass here is playing slow, but I think the wins definitely help Rafa's confidence a little bit more. Jokers and Rogers, I think they're riding high no matter what. I don't think it matters if they lost on French and then coming here to Wimbledon. I don't think that.
I couldn't agree
Roger's
with you
playing
more
a
about
lot
that.
better tennis because he played the clay court season. I think the last couple of years he's come into the majors under-tennised, particularly the grass. Hasn't played well because of that. So I think the fact that he was able to hit a lot of balls and didn't really have any high hopes of winning the French Open, but the fact that he made the semi-finals, huge confidence boost for him. And when he started to play on the grass, really hit the ground running.
You know, the big picture of all of this, too, a lot has changed, and the race is still on. And Rafa has never been so close to Roger in Grand Slam total. He's at 20, Roger. Rafa's at 18. This is as close as they've been since Roger had 2 and Nadal had 0. What's the weight in the scenario there?
I think it's the match. That everything is important, because Djokovic is still in this tournament.
Yeah, he's way back on 15, right?
No, but he's still in this tournament. They're not playing in the final. And so I think that the entire, you know, if you're coaching either one of them, your entire goal after you get through a match like that is not to celebrate. It's not euphoric. You potentially got to play Djokovic in 48 hours. And so you're basically getting the player ready for this big match, and that's it.
Definitely. You got to manage your emotions. I mean, a lot of that can be exhausting, just being that emotional, let alone the physicality that these guys are playing at. And to think that it's just a semifinals and then there's another best-of-5 set after that for the winner, it's definitely about managing your emotions.
Make no mistake about it, Djokovic is the guy to beat here. You know, all this talk about Federer and Nadal. I had one of my friends come up to me the other day and say, what's happened to Novak? You know, he's really disappeared since the Australian Open. The guy's been unbeatable for the last 12 months at majors, right? You know, so he is still very much the man to beat. It is going to be doubly difficult for the winner of this semi-final to then come back and do it against Djokovic if he beats RBA.